It's time for your daily dose of all things Chicago sports. This is the Daily Score. Now, here's your host, Mark Grote.
Oh, hello, and welcome into the Daily Score. I am Mark Grote, and we are still talking about a Bears win, a Bears 30-12 win over Vegas. I was out at Haugh on Monday to hear from the Bears head coach, Matt Eberflus. First things first, he told us on Sunday that he would have an update for us on the dislocated right thumb of Justin Fields. Let's hear the Flus on that.
Really no change. He's doubtful for this week. Working with trainers, continues to progress. He's just not there yet. Bagent will be our starter, until that time he is cleared. So we're squared away on that. And again, excited for Tyson's opportunity again this week for him to start in the game.
Now, when the team examined Justin today, was it the swelling had not gone down? Was it the grip strength was not where you need it to be? What didn't happen?
Yeah, I'm just going to go back to what I said. He's with the trainers. He's doubtful this week, and that's where it is.
Are you still of the belief that you guys are on the path to avoiding surgery and IR and all?
We do think we're on the right path. Yes, we do.
And has Justin tried to throw at all? Has he gotten to the point where he can even attempt to throw with that hand?
He's working with the trainers. That's where I'm going. He's just working with the trainers, and that's where he is right now.
Yeah, that's good for now. The fact that now Matt Eberflus has said twice that doesn't look like surgery is going to be necessary, that is huge if you are a fan of Justin Fields. So I am going to stick with what I've been saying, that I think Justin Fields will miss 2 games. I believe that he is, obviously Matt Eberflus said he's doubtful. Justin Fields is for the Chargers game, which is this Sunday night. That means he's not playing. Tyson Bagent will start, so don't get it twisted in any way, even though he left that little tiny bit of gray area. There's no gray area that Tyson Bagent will be the starter for at least one more week, and then we shall see after that. But, yeah, still a lot of impressive talk about what Tyson Bagent did in his first ever NFL start. Moving on. So now what? Let's move the story forward a bit with Tyson Bagent. We saw from Bagent a very efficient game, a very conservative game. 21 of 29, 162 yards, and that touchdown pass to Deontay Foreman, 8 of 13 on third down. Every team is different. Every competition is different. And eventually, you're probably going to have to make some explosive plays with your arm, which, Tyson Bagent did not do on Sunday. So the question now for Matt Eberflus is, you're going to open it up a little bit more with Tyson Bagent.
Yeah, what we liked most about it was, I think it was 9 different targets that he had with our football team and putting it to the skill. So we want to definitely continue to do that, and that was really positive. Again, you can win a lot of different ways, and every week's different. And we'll find a way, to during the next couple of days, what's going to work this week. We'll keep working at it.
But does his game allow you to open things up a little bit and throw downfield?
Oh, yeah.
Aggressive and
No question. Yeah, he's a rhythm and a timing passer, and he's got all the abilities to do all those things.
So was that opponent specific, or is that just because his first start, you didn't want to throw too much at him? What's the process, I guess, to get to that point?
Yeah, I think it's both. Obviously the first time coming out, you want to be very successful, and I think it matters with the opponents you're playing, the rushers you're playing, the coverages they're playing, what their style is. What their offense looks like. I think it's all encompassing.
Yeah, it would be nice to see that, and eventually it will be essential unless the Bears have, 14-point leads in every game, and I think that we all know that that is not something that would be rational or probably even possible at this point. Now getting into the deeper text of could this ever evolve into Tyson Bagent? Let's say he plays well again this upcoming week in prime time at the Chargers. Let's say he throws this time. He's an efficient, let's just say 23 of 31. And this time he throws for 200 yards, 2 TDs, and throwing a pick because quarterbacks throw interceptions. If he does do that, and then the whispers get louder of, is Bagent somebody that can actually compete with Justin Fields? And obviously there's some, analytical things that the coaching staff would go through, but Kurt Warner was on the score with Parkins and Spiegel, and he brought up something very interesting in terms of the locker room and Tyson Bagent versus Justin Fields.
When, if ever, does quarterback controversy become a legitimate issue here?
I think the only time it really I shouldn't say the only time. I think there's a couple factors. I think the first thing is if you've come to the realization that you don't think Justin is your guy and is your franchise guy, that you've given him enough time or what you're seeing every day, doesn't match up with what you think you need or where you think he needs to be at this point. I think that's, step number one where you start to consider it and go, okay, is it Justin needs more time, so he needs to sit back and learn, or do we need to move a different direction? I think the other thing, and oftentimes can be the more telling thing, is the locker room. Does there come a point where the locker room says, hey, Tyson or whoever that is gives us a better chance to win right now? That becomes very important for a coach, a staff, an organization to have the pulse of the locker room to know what they're feeling. Because I've always felt, I've been in numerous quarterback competitions in my life, and the locker room always knew. The locker room always knew who should win that job, who should be leading that team. And that becomes the most important part of it, is a guy that you put out there that the team believes in, and the team wants to be out there with and wants to battle with. And so, that becomes a second factor, when you're going through this. It doesn't always come down to, what we see on Sundays or that sort of thing. There's lots of factors that go into that leadership, how they see a guy work, what they believe a guy is capable of. But I think those are kind of the two factors that would go into it, somewhere down the road, if Tyson keeps playing and if he plays well and if they keep winning, those all, become factors too. But I think those are the two primary factors when you come to a controversy or when you think about, maybe going another direction.
Such a smart thing there from the Hall of Famer Kurt Warner on the score with Parkins and Spiegel. I will tell you this, from being at Haugh Hall every day, from being in the locker room 3 days a week, actually 4 days a week if you count the post-game stuff. So I'm around these guys a lot, and enough to know that the players do like Justin Fields. The players do think that Justin Fields is the guy. However, there is a however here. They really do seem to like Tyson Bagent. They really do. They seem, and that doesn't mean they like him more than Fields at this point, but they take him seriously. Let's put it that way. They don't look at this guy. Who is this guy from Shepherd with his dad and being cocky and talking and, moving up the ranks? So what is this guy? What is this Bagent? Sort of like the way all of us are, and Bears fans, like whether you're on Team Bagent or not, it's a hell of a story. There's no doubt about it. I could tell the players like him, and I could tell that they like him on both sides of the ball. Like I've talked about this before, like seeing after, the game in which he entered, after the game, his first, taste of NFL football. After the game, he's in the locker room, and as he's getting ready to go, I see Jaquan Brisker go out of defensive player, go out of his way to say, and I guess I could say it, I could quote him specifically on the podcast because we're allowed to say swear words here. So be ready for it. It's about to come. It's going to come here. Stand by for it. Ray, I'm about to swear. Be ready for the swear word.
Do it.
He said, Brisker looks at Bagent and he just goes, here it is. Good shit, 17. Oh my God, I did it. Good shit, 17. So it's like when you see defensive players going up to a guy, they like him. Mooney really was glowing about him. And we know Mooney, where his loyalty is, and that's with Justin Fields because they're fast friends to begin with. But point is, the players do like Tyson Bagent. They like Fields more. Fields is better. They think Fields is better, but they're probably like the rest of us, like folding your hands like, okay, just keep showing us what you got. I'm not really convinced here with you, Tyson Bagent. I have no idea, but just keep doing it. Keep telling us what you're going to do and then keep doing it. So That's where things stand with the quarterback. That is where things stand with the Chicago Bears. I'm sure many interesting things will happen at the Hall throughout the week. We've got an off day tomorrow before they resume practice on Wednesday, and that is when I will be back in the locker rooms as well. I will be back with you tomorrow here on the Daily Score for our guy, Ray Diaz, who approved the swearing in this podcast. I am Mark Grote. We'll talk to you soon on the Daily Score.